we did not finish these two anyway. So last week we tried to finish about competition. All right, 3C, 4P. So we try to finish competition. Now let me finish that. And if you still remember this one is consumer view of competitor. Let me repeat again. Consumer view of competitor. In other words, this competition is based on definition of consumers' needs. And consumer needs is very complicated, right? We don't know what they need, all right? So last week I mentioned about that they are all kind of product can be a competitor, like soft drink. Everything can thirsty quench, that will be competitor. So the same, this one here. So what they need might be the multimedia need, for instance, or image need for image, or need for communication, for instance. And that will define very differently. So this is from point of view of consumer. And this is from point of view of competitor. Sometimes we call strategic group. Strategic group. In other words, all competitors might cluster into 4 groups. And this is for example from the textbook. If you look carefully, group A, narrow line, low cost, high service, high price. In car, what kind of company is here? Narrow line, low manufacturing cost, very high service, high price. Look at B, full line, low cost, good service, medium price. So what is in A? For instance, can be the company in this group can be such as what? Narrow line, high price. In other words, they only have one model, but very expensive. So this can be, yes, can be that. All right, what else? And this one can be GE or Ford. They have, the whole keyword here is full line, and they have medium price, and this is a high price. How about C? Medium line, medium price, medium service, medium price. Whatever, everything median can be Toyota a little bit upgrade. Yeah, you can argue that Toyota, all right, from American point of view, Toyota can be in this category. But maybe Korean car can be in this category as well. So I don't know. So again, this is the way of organize that, all right? This is called strategic group. And what it says is in each cluster, we call it cluster, right? Suppose I got A and B and C. Within each cluster, they also have a boundary. So I can have A and B here, and then C, D, E somewhere here. These are called clusters. All right? Then I think the point here is you are not compete directly. If you are here, in fact, your direct competitor is A and B, not there. They might take market share from you, but this will be your direct competitor. This is somehow indirect competitor, meaning that they are still share the market share all that, all right? But your direct competition are in the same group. So that's what we call strategic group. All right, I think that's not too difficult to understand that. Then a lot of example, PC. Now, which company in this area? For instance, which company's product is only one product line, but very expensive, such as, Is Apple really expensive? What else? Sony, yes. Very too cheap, huh? You don't agree. All right, that's okay. See, that's the problem. Consumers' view and our definition will be different. Let me say it again. Consumers' view about expensive and my company's view about competition can be different. That's the whole research in marketing, all right? So again, a lot of example, warehouse management, IC design house, biotech company, all can be in this group, all right? So these are the how we look at the competitor. And again, this we have last week, we call it N-soft grid. Remember that? Remember N-soft grid? N-soft product market growth strategy. This is the product. This is the market. All right. So we are looking at how their expansion plans. In other words, they'll try to go to individual, different market, educational. All right, and this is a personal computer, hardware, accessory, software. I don't think they have software. All right, they have the workstation, or something like that, or a server. All right. So each of the company can look at that. So you look at the company carefully to see where they want to go, which product they will extend, and which market they will extend. And from this map, then we try to understand in the future, our cross competitor. And in your game, yes, you need to do that. You're going to develop different product to different market. We'll tell you more about that later. All right. So this is how you expand our company. And we mentioned about this successful factor. So these are the attributes, like awareness, quality, availability, and so on. All right. A, B, C. Now, if you look at this one carefully, we have E, excellent, good, fair, and poor. Which company can be a formidable competitor in the future? Let me say it again. Which one will be formidable? Means that they were growing very fast company in the future. A or B or C. So you look at it very quickly here. Customer awareness, excellent. Quality, excellent. And look at here. Availability, excellent. Means what? This company probably better at channel distribution. This company very good at advertising, good quality, such as Sony, for instance, all right? Good availability. And again, look at here, selling stuff. So this competitor B is very strong at selling. This is very good at R&D and awareness. And this one probably everything fair and poor, all right? So this is more like how we look at the competitor and we think carefully to see who are our close competitor. And this particular chart give you another one. Market share, mind share, and heart share. And I say which one is the most important? Heart share. All right. Market share means sales unit. Mind share, when I'm thinking about PC, immediately pop in my mind is Sony or Apple. But heart share means when I want to go there to buy. Well, Apple may be too expensive. Asus is enough, EPC is enough, right? Or whatever that, or like the heart share. So heart share is the one you really make your final decision at that time, occupying into your mind. And very quickly, you look at ABC here. A, in fact, start to decline. Let me see. A kind of decline. B, gain most. C, lost a lot. But we never know. Like what I try to say here is, this is the result. But you really have to go back to look at what kind of attribute this particular industry is. So some of the industry focus on quality. Some industry focus on promotion. We don't know that. So therefore, you have to go back to see what they are competition based on. So this is the idea, right? So, but clearly here, competitor C, in fact, they start to decline. The market share look very high, but in fact, the heart share is start to decline, all right? So anyway, 30, 34, 37, not bad, all right? And this is gaining, this is losing, all right? In terms of that. Now, be careful. Market share is not. There are two kinds of market share. One is selling unit. One is selling volume. You know what I mean? Selling unit, 销售单位, and selling volume, 销售金额. You know what I mean? You know the difference, right? So if Sony charge $50,000 per piece, only sell 10,000 units. Then another company sell 20,000, but in fact they're selling the price is lower. Right, so there are two kinds of market share here. One is the selling unit. One is the sales volume in terms of dollars. That's the difference. In our game, I will look at selling volume, not selling unit. Why? Let me repeat again. In our game, I'm looking for selling volume, not selling unit. So even though your selling unit is very high, but so what's important? You're using selling unit, selling volume instead of selling unit. What kind of company can gain very high selling unit but not selling volume? What kind of company? 講幾間咧 what kind of company? In PC, for instance, which company can gain very high in selling unit, but the total selling volume can be low? One is unit, one is volume in terms of dollars. So you can see the difference here. Some company can be very high in selling unit, but it might be low in selling volume. You know what I mean? So I'm looking for the selling volume. So which company can be, what kind of company in PC, for instance, right now, whatever we in available in the market, that can be very high in selling unit, but not necessarily high in volume. Or LCD TV, for instance. You know what I mean? The LCD TV, which company will be high in unit, low in volume? In fact, most of Taiwanese company is high in selling unit, low in volume. The market leaders such as Sony, Sharp, they are very high. So the price can be about 2 times. Really, I'm not joking. The price can be about 2 times of the selling volume, selling price. All right, that's what I'm looking for. And again, if you cut your price, it's easy to sell. But that's not good management. I always say that. I can always cut my price. I can sell more, but that is not marketing. All right, so these two are different. All right, these two are different. Next one is they're talking about the so-called hypothetical market structure. Obviously, hypothetical because market might not look at like that. And very simple. All right, we have leader, challenger, follower, and niche. And in general, when you as a leader, about 40%, 40, 30, 20, 10. And yes, some of the market might have 2 leaders, such as Coke and Pepsi. They get about 35 each. So 2 market leaders can occupy 70%. All the rest are small ones. All right, so this is a hypothetical one about the market structure. And why is it important to study that? Because each one have different strategy. If you read carefully, all right, leader, challenger always challenge the leader. Follower, they don't care, they just follow whatever they do, all right. Niche, hide somewhere in the corner, you know, they don't bother me, all right, I'm making money, all right, so something like that. So each one have very different strategy behind that, all right. And when you play your game, you have this one in your mind, all right, what you want to be. But it's not what you want to be. It's I want to be a leader. But you cannot. Everything you do is wrong as a leader. You know what I mean here? So you might be a challenger, maybe a follower, right? And this strategy behind that. When you play the game, the mindset behind that, all right? Well, what I'm saying is, yeah, you say I want to be a leader. No way, all right? You look at that gradually, and so leader have different strategy. And later on, they can be a leader. Not that they know, I'm leader. No, it's not like that. Leader defined by the market and your competitor, not defined by yourself. All right, so these are all the strategy about all I will be pushing forward later on. Again, PC. Now, who is the market leader now? Which company is market leader now in the PC? HP, yes. All right. HP gained a lot, and very lucky, IBM drop out. In fact, HP gained all the market share from HP. And Lenovo tried to get that, but unfortunately, 连小东不用想, because the market in USA taken over by HP, not Lenovo. Europe taken over by Acer. Asia, and only in China, yes, Lenovo sell very well. So all these are what is happening now. Yes, so HP is the leader. Now, who is the challenger? Dell, in fact, used to be the leader. Dell used to be the leader long time ago, all right, the red cell. And immediately, why Dell the red failed? Let me repeat again. Dell used to be a leader. There's a book called Dell the Red. Why this one declined? So yes, as a leader used to be, he has something in his mind, but some decisions start getting wrong because the service is not as good as it used to be. That's one main reason. What else? PC gradually turned out to be commodity. You know what I'm saying here? Commodity, 商品 commodity. You know what I mean? Commodity means PC itself gradually turned out to be commodity. In other words, you heard about it, Moore's law, right? Moore's law. What's the Moore's law? Every 18 months, there's a new model coming up. So every 18 months, you would push a new product. When Moore's law works, a lot of companies are gaining because they push new products so fast. But once Moore's law starts to decline, what does it mean? PC start to saturate. Because any new product, consumer don't care. Pending 1, pending 2, pending 3, pending 4. Now what? Pending 5? I don't need pending 5. I don't need pending 6. Pending 4 powerful enough. I don't need that. So therefore, consumer is not looking for something high technology. They are looking for web. So what I need computer right now is I can connect to the network immediately. What I'm trying to say here now is the market starts to change. What consumer looking for used to be is not like that anymore. Consumer, you're not looking for pending 1, pending 2, pending 3, pending 4, pending 10. No, 4 may be the maximum. I don't need that anymore. So in this case, consumer is not looking for a new product. So their rate can sell a product quickly because of they can sell to that. But after that, consumer, they don't care. That's what I mean by start to gradually change to commodity. Once you are changing to commodity, some companies start to growing up, such as ASUS, EPC, Acer coming up. You know what I mean here? So the market starts to change from R&D driven, new product driven, gradually to price, product, or channel driven. All right, something like that. So that's what I mean. Something behind that start to change. So yes, market leader can be later on to the follower immediately. So in the couple years of time of that. All right, so PC. Now who's the follower? And niche. Anyway, it doesn't matter. All right. So the concept here is these are what happened in the market. Very competitive. And the industry might change, consumers' needs might change. All right, so you have different strategy. Then how to select competitors? The same. Using PC as an example, we used to be IBM, we have HP, and all kind of company. In fact, you got too old, too young, all right? In the USA, when the PC start to boom, the so-called personal computer, do you know how many companies in the market? In the very beginning, do you know how many PC brands, PC competitor 20 years ago? Do you know how many? Just 20 years ago, not too long ago. 30 years ago, more than 100. In the very beginning, 300 brands, 300, everybody manufacturing PC. Then down to 100, and then gradually down to that. All right, so at that time you can imagine there's a very brand new market, and everybody fighting for that. And what this one says is how you select that. Some of the companies are dominant. The IBM used to be. They are strong. They are favorable, tenable. They are weak. They are non-viable. And again, immediately there are two choices. I'm in the market. I'm a challenger. I want to gain market share. Which one I should take? And this immediately different strategy, all right? Do I take over dominant strong one or take over the weak one? All right, no answer, all right? When you play the game, you know what I mean here, all right? So in other words, it's not that easy. There are so many competitors there. Now, the first step is now where is my competitor? What should I do? Now, how strong he is, how weak he is. All right, so this is a so-called selecting competitor. So what's the good answer? Strong or weak? Depends on what you have. Let me repeat. Depends on what you have. All right, if you are egg, don't hit the stone. All right, 以卵击石. You know what I mean? Really depends on what you have. So they really understand your company first, and then to see where can I go, which way can I go. Because there are so many competitors, you can go there. All right. Then this one continue talking about what strategy you have. If you are a leader, if you are very lucky, you are a leader, what you should do. All right. So that's a good strategy they have. So leader in general should expand the total market, defend market share. That's it. Only two strategies. And how to expand? You try to find new users all the time. New use, more usage. You know this product? Baking soda. You know what baking soda for? Baking soda is baking soda, right? You put this baking soda, one small spoon, into the floor. You can bake. You can as a cookie, one small one. And this company, in fact, had at least 70% of market share in USA. Now, beyond baking soda, what can the company do? What can baking soda do? Anyone knows? Deodorant, very good. Put it where? Put it to where? Refrigerator, very good. All right, that's one possibility. So you take the whole package, cut it, and put it in the refrigerator. All right. And in general, USA, the Americans don't like fish. So if you have very fishy smell, they put one there. All right. And this advertising very interesting. They say, okay, use once a month. All right. So put the whole package there once a month. What else can baking soda do? Toothpaste. All right. You are old-fashioned, huh? Yes, my old generation, my parents used to be, they used either baking soda or the salt.
Yeah, baking soda and salt.
Salt, yes. Yes. That's what I mean, all right, old generation, all right. My parents always the same. All right, so you put baking soda, you can make toothpaste. So yes, they do have the toothpaste. What else? Detergent, all right, to do what? All right, laundry, all right. What else in USA? Very popular. In USA, another one. Detergent is one. What else? Carpet. Powder. You know what I mean? They put the smell into that, make it powder, and settle down there and vacuum that. So you can have fresh carpet. And yes, once a week. What I'm trying to say here is this is a market leader. You have to think carefully, how can I maintain this baking soda segment? So yes, new users, new use, more usage. From one spoonful, you can have the whole package. You can see how this company is growing, all right? So this is a very typical example of that. This one Intel anyway, so doesn't matter. Anyway, Intel try to show that they are the market leader, so they keep pushing wireless, computing, mobile, telephone, whatever that, they keep pushing that, all right? So these are example of the competitors' action. All right, I will not tell you too much, all right? Just to write down your Chinese. If you don't understand that, I will tell you very quickly what are the strategy there. Position here means I am here, come. All right, I'm here. I'm waiting here for you. All right, so these are position. I occupy this position. Whatever people do, I will attack back. All right, it's a called position. Friend defense. Friend defense. We try to look at their winnings, just like boxing. All right, we look at the competitor and look at that. We do that. All right, these are called just like boxing, called friend defense. Look at the winning side of the competitor. Preemptive, very interesting. My example here is Microsoft. So what's preemptive? Microsoft, oh yes, all right. Sorry. Before somebody attack. Is that what you mean? Microsoft always announce a product 3 years before come out a new product. You know what I mean? He said, oh, I want to do Windows 7. I want to do whatever that. When did they announce? They announced about 1 or 2 years ago, before. Why did they do that? You know what I mean? It's called preemptive. In other words, I announce it first. And no one, people look at that, companies say, oh, okay, this guy will develop virus, develop this. Maybe I should not touch that. That's why the company, in general, this strategy only work for market leader. So I announced that beforehand, 1 or 2 years before that. You can see other companies like Apple, like Intel, like Microsoft, even like automobile, like Toyota, they always announce we're going to have a new product coming up. And I don't care because you cannot follow me. So I will occupy that. So people will look at that. These are called preemptive defense. Counter-offensive means here, eye to eye, teeth to teeth. In other words, if you come to attack me, I will counter you back. All right? These are called counter-offensive. And mobile defense. All right? So here the book says is broadening and diversification. In other words, this is my market used to be. Then I will go to another new market. So I will mobile this market to a new one. And I will take that. All right? So you can look at the book example. Contraction. All right? What is the best? 36计的最上计是什么？走为上策。All right, very good. All right, so run away. All right, in other words, and in fact, very a lot of companies do it. We saw that 3M, Intel, GE, Sony, they all run away before. 3M run away from which product? Video tape. Video tape. You know video tape, TV, video tape. They are the inventor. Intel run away from what? DRAM. They give that to Japan, all right? DRAM, all right? GE, very famous. GE run away for what? 灯泡, electricity bulb. And who is the leader now? The bulb. Who is the leader now? Philips. See? So they give up. They give up completely over all that, all right? And Sony, I don't remember that, all right? Sony, I think, is Betamax. Betamax, VCR, Betamax. Anyway, all these are already died product, right? So they are market leader used to be, but within a very short period of time, challenger coming, they had to drop that. All right, so this is so-called contraction defense. The book also give you one of the chart here, all right? Very easy to say. It's okay to gain market share, but once you gain more, your cost will be higher. You know what I mean? So it's not I want to expand my market forever, no. So these are the curve here. Of course, this is a good decision. But after that, maybe you don't want to do it because cost too much to maintain high market share. I think that's what it says. All right? I think very simple. Then designing competitive strategy. I think what this one says is look at all what the market leader look like. What did they do all the time? And I think P&G is probably a good market leader. They do a lot of things. I just read that to you, all right? They have spent so much time understanding consumer, long-term outlook, product innovation, quality strategy, line extension. And these are all true. All right? If you look at the P&G's history, they got a whole bunch of new products coming every year. All right? If you go to the supermarket, amazing. All right? And the same, brand extension, like Ivory, like shampoo, like they all extend to other products, multi-brand, heavy advertising, aggressive sales force, competitive toughness, manufacturing efficiency, cost cutting, brand management. Anyway, so everything they do it right. All right, to be leader. So you look at everything, all right, the whole spectrum of things, and then to do that. So these are what market leaders should do. And the same in your game. All right. So I can give a strong hint here. As a leader, you should do what? As a leader, you should do what? Keep pushing product out. Really, I think marketing always asks you to do that. New product. Brand extension, line extension, product extension, and look at the price and look at everything carefully. All right, you're gonna know that, all right, when you play the game. Right? Very important to do that. You should have this mentality, in fact, as a leader, and then try to start to push to dominate the market. Then challenger, follower, niches, they all also have their different strategy. Let's look at that. Challenger. What challenger do? I think the challenger obviously they want to attack market leader. They want to be a leader, right? They are 10 firms or its own size that are not doing the job and are under-financed. That's second possibility. They can also attack small and local regional firms and start to do that. So they can see the challenger. So challenger, watch out carefully what leader do. And try to look at everything and then become the leader. And there are a lot in the history, there are many, many challengers later on to be a leader, such as what? A lot of that. There are a whole bunch of companies that are challenger before and they are the leader. You know this one? He's a challenger. You know this? This company challenged Microsoft. Not Google. No, this is not Google. This does not look like Google. What it is? Huh? Linux. All right. So Microsoft's logo is butterfly. Remember that? There's a butterfly there, and there's a penguin take a fly killer and then try to kill the butterfly. Obviously a challenger, all right? So there's a new system, right? Such as EPC, they're using a Linux system. They don't want to use the Office. It's too heavy, all right? So they're a challenger. And we don't know what will be. So netbook is a challenger for the notebook. The netbook system in general using Linux, not Microsoft. So that's why Microsoft so early. They come out with Mobile 7 or Microsoft 7. I think the reason is try to win back the mobile market. All right, so these are a good example of the challenger. And again, there are so many strategies. All right, we'll not ask you in the question. All right, too complicated. All right, attacker, defender. All right, frontal attack, direct attack. These are called encirclement attack. In other words, they try to gain other three partner or competitor, gain together, such as Java. Java with HP, with a lot of company, they get together and then to attack Microsoft. Friend attack the same. Look at their Linux and then start to attack. And then bypass. Sometimes they call leaf floor. They don't do that directly. They bypass that and they try to do another one. I think the example like Pepsi, all right? You know Pepsi and Coke? Pepsi and Coca-Cola, very famous. Because I worked for Pepsi before. Very famous strategy. All right. So Pepsi in the early 50s, market share only about 14%. Later on, they start to get about 35. And how can they can be that fast? Very easy. For example, most of you know that if you go to USA, when you go to Pizza Hut or go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, what do they sell? Only Pepsi, no Coke. So what do? They don't directly compete in the supermarket. They compete to another channel because people start to eat out. People start to eating out, right? Once they eat out, the distribution, the fast food chain is very important channel. So they start to buy out all this Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, then buy out Pizza Hut, the Pizza Inn, all that. So all that owned by Pepsi. So channel totally occupied by Pepsi, not Coke. All right. So these are, in fact, they don't do that. They just looking around and then try to do that. So they got a lot of strategy can do that. And then Guerrilla, you know that, all right? Just whatever that. And they got a lot of Chinese, all right? Motorola, no, sorry, Marlboro in China. Cigarette, who is the leader in China? Do you know that? You don't know that, right? Even the kids understand the logo, called 555. I said even the kids understand the logo. 555 from UK. All right, they are the market leader. And if you have chance to visit China, if you look at the general manager, not the employee, not the worker, general manager's office, They either put in the 5x5. Look at that, very important because those people pay very high price for those cigarettes. All right. So 5x5 status a lot higher than Marlboro. Marlboro cowboy. Come on, I'm a manager. I don't want to be a cowboy, right? And now in China, very interesting. Which cigarette is most expensive? You guys never to go to China, all right? The Marlboro about $15, 5x5 about $17, but 中华香烟 $40. Forget about it. You don't know what I'm talking about anyway. All right. So Marlboro means so they have to do that. They have to attack the 5x5 to be leader, but not easy. All right, not easy. And then this one they call it shifting segment. All right, like segment, different segment because consumers' tastes start to change. So you're not attack the product. You try to come out a new segment. And then these are Java versus Microsoft. You can see that Microsoft is a market leader. And because it's such a profitable company, everybody wants to attack. So we have different systems try to attack the Microsoft. All right? So these are a lot of challenges, in fact. So these are the Java example. They unify all other companies together. And Pepsi, see here, I just mentioned that Pepsi acquired Tropicana, Quaker Art, and all the Kentucky Fried Chicken, all that. All right, they don't directly confront. They just acquire all the company and then to take that later on. All right. All right. So these are the so-called challenges. You know this one? In fact, sponsored by local government. In the whole world, no one dare to challenge Pepsi, Coca-Cola. That's the only company. 非常可乐. Gosh, all right? Huh? Very cool. I don't know how to say that anyway. Selling very good, all right, in fact, all right? All the package, all advertising, all the logo, the same, all right? I saw one called 可谷可乐, 可谷. You know, anyway, they just change all the words. You saw it's Coca-Cola. No, it's not. It's gu, all right, not ko, all right? Anyway, there's a challenge, all right? So we have a lot of, like price discount, low price. They come up with some good product. These are the normal strategy. Proliferation, innovation, improve service. Anyway, so you can read that, all right? So these are the challenges idea. They try to attack that. And these are all slides. But these old slides, it's been an old slides. They say how Samsung challenged Nokia, even Motorola. Right now is a market leader right now. All right, so this is a very huge case about how the Samsung to be a leader in that. Anyway, so these are the good challenger can be a leader later on. All right. And what's the secret of Samsung? We are in Hsinchu Science Park. What's the secret of Samsung can challenge Nokia? Very important is chips. They are the one that manufacturing a lot of. They are very strong at manufacturing semiconductor chips. And Nokia can design, but they're manufacturing. So they're manufacturing, also design, also branding. So Samsung, in fact, there's not much secret, all right? They are doing OEM, ODM, and OBM at the same time. Some company only do branding. They're doing three things at the same time. I think that's the reason of that, all right? Anyway, follower. All these are followers. 英雄不论出身低，没人笑。That's what he says. In other words, always copy which company? These are copycat, all right? Always copy which brand? Lotus, one, all right? One, what else? Harvard Graphic, do you remember that? Lotus, what else? Everything for that, all the four, whatever Office, Excel file, everything, all copy from someone else. In fact, very interesting, all right? So, 英雄不论出身低, all right? That's what I say here, all right? In fact, Visa copy Visa and MasterCard is not a market leader. They copy someone else. Which one? No, I think the Dinner Club, the Sears. They are not the first one issue that. They just copy everything and make good management. All right. Korean copy, which one? We are Korean here, right? That's okay. 英雄不论出身地, that's okay, all right? Taiwan the same, all right? And these are what I mean by market follower. Yes, follower can be a good leader later on. And there are a lot of products here. Innovation, limitation, product innovation. And there are 4 kinds of follower. Which one is the worst? Counterfeiter, cloner, imitator, adapter. So adapter in fact can be a leader later on. Now we have counterfeit and cloner. Which one is worse? You know what I mean here? These are Adidas. You didn't see? This is my client, all right? When Germany start to launch in Taiwan, and we try to do the advertising, but when we go to the registration office, there are 17 names there. AADIS, AADDIS, ADDIIIS. Oh my gosh, AADASS. All right, we don't know what to do, all right? So, see here. How to this? Yes, Rolex. This very popular brand in Hong Kong. If you go to Hong Kong, Rolex. My gosh, I was in Vancouver, all right? I driving the car. Matako. What the hell is this? Madonna plus taco, called Matako. You know Taco Bell? Yeah, all right. Anyway, so these are the. Which one is worse for a brand leader? Let me repeat again. Which one is worse for a brand leader? This or this? This. Why? They will damage my product. Counterfeit is okay. But this one, when consumer buy Adidas, you know, what the hell is Adidas? I will not buy Adidas anymore. But that's not my product. All right? Anyway, so they got a whole bunch of the so-called followers, the strategy behind that. And then niche. I think the Taiwanese translation is not quite right. Called 利基, all right? It's true. It's a profit base. But niche in general is very small. Too small that the main marketer ignore that. That's what we call niche. Very small. I think a lot of companies in Taiwan translation say, I want to be a niche, and I'm a leader. That's totally wrong, all right? I think the definition of that is they are a very small portion of the market share of that. And this is obviously an example of the company. I think already, you don't know what is that, right? What is this one? Very famous in USA. They only sell one product. It's MO, that's it. For the automobile, oil, car protection, and all that, all right? So only one product, and they are selling very well. Anyway, so there's a market strategy. There's a high margin versus high volume niche. Okay, anyway, so there are a whole bunch of specialized. All right? So you can see what it says is they are very comfortable in very small one, and they are specialized in that, and expert in some area, like product, service, and so on. Okay. All right, this is the last one of that, and this is very easy. All right, this is very easy. Concept is easy. We said. Competitor center, I call this one competitive strategy. Customer center, we call it business model. The strategy, they have very different name of that. Let me repeat again. In strategy, they create many different names. Concept is the same. One is Michael Porter's competitive strategy. In other words, I look at competitor. I come out all my strategy. Another one, a new term called business model. You heard about that, right? Business model. Business model, in fact, look at what market need. Forget about competitor. My focus will be consumer, will be the market. So I come out only so I call it business model in order to compete. So these two are the same competitive strategy, but the focus will be different. One is more on competitor, one more on the market. That's it. That's what it says. All right. So this will conclude my chapter. Yeah, I think we already have that already. Anyway, so this one, particularly talking about competitors and all the strategy and tech and all the stuff, all right? So basically, try to help you to deal with the competitor and all kinds of strategy. I think that's about these two chapters. Today we'll look at 1E again in detail, all right? Then again, globalization is another one. All right, what we're going to do today, and then we'll go to research and behavior. All right, so I hope we can start to reading all these menu. All right, so we need this all the menu. So we will have overview in this one. After we go through all these major chapters, we'll go that. What it says is how can we get information about the environment? So you need a whole bunch of information in order to make decisions. I think that's what this one is about. All right. So let's start from MIS, but very different. They are marketing information system, not management information system, right? MIS, all right, MKIS, internal records, intelligence. All right. Very obviously, internal record is for the company. Intelligence is for what? For your competitor. So how can I collect information from my own and then from competitor? All right. And then how to look at opportunity. And then for the so-called PST we mentioned before, political, economic, social, and technology. We will look at that. The book starts from the so-called interactive entertainment retailing, all right. Anyway, something about pay workshop. Anyway, about retailing and how they do interactive to do that. And in fact, this is not a good example. The better example is this one. I'm not sure whether you saw this one. You know, it's a pet here. He brings a very old toy, his own toy. This is a very famous one called Pet Smart. They changed that to Pet Smart. Used to be Pet Smart. They call it Pet Smart. Obviously, this very famous one chain store in USA. Anyone do have a pet? No? What do they do in a pet? How do they take care of the pet? How can they make money from the pet owner? That's what Pet Smart do. So I send my pet to the Pet Smart. And then there's a black bell, red bell, white bell, you know what I mean? For instance, I think they charge me about $45 to train the dog. And then sit, he will sit, right? Shake hand, all right? But my dog never do that. I put my toy there, he run away and then run away. I say, come back, never come back, all right? I spend my $45, all right? Nothing, all right? Anyway, so that's what Pet Smart do, all right? So they try to train that. And there's a hotel there, and they're very expensive. Suppose I want to go to travel with my family, and I don't leave my pet in the pet hotel. My gosh, how much is that? I don't know, $39. You know, more expensive than the Motel 6. In fact, Motel 6 is $29.95. All right. And they say, oh, we have the pet can play with other people, and we treat it nice. You know, I don't believe that. But anyway, Pet Smart, right? And in a Sunday, in fact, all the pet owners will come to the parking lot. Everybody bring their own pet, and they say hello, all right? And then you know what I mean? The purpose is not say hello to the pet, say hello to the beautiful girl who owns the pet, all right? No, just kidding, all right? Anyway, so these are turned out to be, you know what I mean by interactive, all right? Very interesting. They do a lot of activity, try to attract all the pet owners to that, and very successful. Anyway, so although funny things about the pet, anyway, so these are interactive, entertaining, retailing. And what it says is how can they collect all the information about the pet owner in order to do a marketing campaign. All right, most of you run, so I will not analyze too much. I think definition is here. People, equipment, procedure to gather, sort, analyze, evaluate, and distribute needs and accurate information to make decisions. All right, they probably summarize everything here. Talking about the process, talking about the purpose. All right, and most of you know that there are different layers of information. One, very unorganized, we call it data. Somewhat organized is called information. All right, then we can generate it from knowledge. Later we make decisions. All right, so these are the different layers of the data, information, knowledge. I think the whole purpose is to make decisions. And all these are typical, all right? Believe me or not, these are typical. Right? We have a whole bunch of information, but we don't have knowledge. So Google, in fact, is in this stage. Whole bunch of information. Right? I call this one information rich, but knowledge poor society. Is that true? We have a whole bunch of information, but we don't know how to make decisions. All right, and reason is here. Reason is because we difficult to generate knowledge and then to push further. And that's what this MIS purpose is for. I think keep in mind to make decisions. I think I skipped that. We'll not read that, all right? Anyway, that's about how to component of system, all right? I have a whole course about marketing research, all right? So you can take that, all right? Anyway, so how determine information needs, all right? Whole bunch of questions, you know, regular need, monthly, and whole bunch of things about information. Let's get up. Then they're talking about internal record and marketing intelligence, order to payment. What's order to payment? Very quickly, order to payment. The record inside my company. All right, so I put example here is Dell. Dell the rate, I just mentioned that. They probably have all the information about manufacturing costs, delivery order, and all the whole bunch of information. Sales information system. Example is Walmart. Last time I said Walmart had how many stores? 5,000. How many products in one Walmart store? Imagine how many products in one Walmart store? About what? 5,000 to 8,000. Imagine this company. What this company do? 5,000 multiplied by 5,000. This company have all the information about our daily life. Unbelievable. So they know if I do the advertising campaign this week, he knows exactly which one can move, which one cannot move. He then uses this information to negotiate with you. What I'm trying to say here is this very powerful company. They get all information about pricing, promotion, delivery, inventory. They know all that. And they take information, start to negotiate with you. They say, okay, sorry, too expensive. Sorry, whatever that. You need to improvement all that. And what they base is we call it sales information system. Okay? So they are really truly time market information to do the decision. Database obviously really popular right now, right? So everything can be database. Your customer base, in the internet, we call it tracking system, and so on. And the best example probably Amazon. Amazon have what? I think about 3 million for the books only. For the books only, 3 million titles. And not to mention about all the electronic, whatever, and so on. So the huge database behind that. And they can do that. So these are the people who are really control the market. For example, how to use that? What the hell is here? Playboy, all right? Is it illegal in Taiwan? Can you log in to Playboy? You type Playboy, nothing coming up. What I mentioned here, don't worry, all right? Forget about that, all right? What I mean here, when you log into a website, they got so many photos. And the most famous one for the Playboy is what? Pet of the year. You know heard about this one? Pet of the year. No, okay. Sorry, whatever. Suppose I got 10 photos there. And they know, what I try to say here, company know exactly which girl is the most popular. You know what I mean? The same, all right? So they can identify, but interesting, all right? But interesting. What I try to say here is every country, every person, every male define the beauty differently. Define the beauty differently. And they can collect all the information. And so later on, they to figure out what is a popular model look like, and then start to sell that. All right? This is an example of the database. All right? So we can look at the online information in order to design for the new product later on. And intelligence, I think we mentioned about Zara. There's no secret for Zara. In fact, how can they come up 200 new form, whatever per month? Impossible. In fact, their best one is intelligence system. They try to go out there to see what other competitors offer, and then copy that. All right, write down and come back. All right. So intelligence is not only the look at it. So they are look at Zara is in fact very good at this one. They look at the market. They do a competitor offer, and then come back and then to design all new things. All this talking about how we use information, in fact, to do a strategy. All right, anyway, so these are just open information, all right, about intelligence. So use your sales force, motivate your channel members. I think all these are important, all right. Network externally, these are network external. In fact, these are external network. Inside, outside our company, all right. We try using the members and all that. Advisory panel, government data source, purchase information, and then customer feedback online. All these are try to. A lot of company, when I talk to a lot of company, they say the most difficult part is understand competitor, which is true. But there are ways to deal with the competitor. I think that's the tell how to look at the information in order to get information about competitor. It also help you make decisions. These are some of the methodology to do that. And there are a lot. These are all in USA, very famous company. Market leader, AC Nielsen. They are selling two most important market information in the whole world. One is TV rating, 收视率, very important. Second one, people don't know that. All the retailers' inventory data. Inventory. What I do is I go to Kmart, I go to a lot of store, and then to start to scan all the information. So they know the inventory moving and move out. Very, very important for the product manager to make decisions. So if they are controlling very important two information, TV rating and retail inventory, very, very famous one. There are a lot of others, like new product and so on, but these are two other monthly report. This is the same. This one in Chicago, all right, IRI, also selling scanner data. All right, Semi and Burke, in which are good at market research, and Epitron good at radio. And another very interesting company called Claritas. Probably you don't know. We'll tell you that more in market segmentation. All right, let me show you very quick what they do. These are the map. These are the map. In USA, we call it zip code. Right? My area is 27511. And then with 27511, we have another digit called 857. And that's a small one there. All right. So they collect all the information. In fact, this one is go to the GIS. You know what GIS? Geographic Information System. So they combine the GIS with market information together, and then know exactly which one of the area that is a hot area. What's the application? So this database is very powerful to do what? Such as category, sale, you go. Direct marketing, in fact. Post-store selling. All right. There are a lot of things can be done. What I try to say here is These are one of the very famous ones using the GIS information combined with the consumer information, so they can pinpoint which area they can do that. So when I made the catalog out, I don't have to send it to the poor people. I can send only a certain area of that. All right, so these are applications. The company pretty good at that. They have all information about all the USA and all the segments. All right. What I try to say here is market is not homogeneous. Market in fact is heterogeneous. In other words, different market, different area, and different one, they have different needs. And all this by these market research firms. And source of competitive information, same as the Zara example, all right? So how they collect information about all that, all right? So they can try to get a whole bunch of information. Again, this one talking about how can I collect information from competitor in order to make a decision, okay? I did not do that. They do that in the original form, okay? All right, this is about environment, all right? So important one is understand needs and trends. So we have trend, fad, mega trend. All right, mega trend examples such as China is a rising power. All right, so people worry about that, whether it's some people happy, some people afraid of that. Anyway, now, for instance, in your game, cosmetics, what is the trend? Let me repeat again, all right? Cosmetics, fashion, for instance. So fashion, what's the trend? When I said the trend is what? So this year's favorite color is what? How about cosmetics? What's the trend? All right, difficult, all right, very difficult. No, I'm not an expert. I just asked you. You are expert. Like shining, I don't know, or the longer and shorter, I don't know. Or black color, or green, or blue, or whatever that, or that's what I mean by the trend, all right? All right, so anyway, all right, you know what I mean here, all right? So trend is try to catch whatever that, or the market. Mega trend in general, longer time. Longer here means at least 7 to 10 years. All right, according to the book, what it says is either political, technology, social, or economic. So for instance, another mega trend, after 2008 financial crisis, what is the mega trend in the future for the whole global market? What's the trend? Organic product, all right, that's come and go, all right? So organic product is one, all right? What else? That's the mega trend. What else? I said after 2008. So we know this is a very big impact. So for the next maybe 5 to 10 years, you can write down some of the trends that will happen, such as decline USA power, for instance, right? Decline USA power. What else? And so on. Well, I don't know. I just try to say that. All right? I'm not a fortune teller. All right? So this training, we try a little bit of fortune teller, what the future will be. All right? And also, these are most difficult part of that. Okay. Anyway, so these are some of the trends. We always try to focus that, and the new book is coming, e-book coming, and so on. All right. Beanie Baby, right? Very popular in USA. Just come and go for about 2 years. Beanie Baby. They stuff animal, they put it inside, and then people collect that, about $5 USA, all kind of stuff. All right. And this talking about what are the trends here, specifically about trends shaping the business landscape. All right, we can look at that. All right. So the changing that you can see, for instance, connectivity. These are called commerce, e-commerce, mobile. All right. And this may be true. Where trend talent. And these are emerging and so on. So you can see that these are a whole bunch of information about what the landscape will be. Another one is about consumer. So very important in marketing. So aging boomer, in fact, very serious problem. Delayed retirement. That's what happening in Japan now. Japan right now, the retirement, people come back, right? A lot of that. And very interesting because the aging problem, a lot of lonely old lady and old man. You know what they do now? They start to go shoplifting. Shoplifting, you know shoplifting? Why? Why they want to do shoplifting? A lot of old people, they do shoplifting. Because then they were put in jail. And they can meet his old friends, stay there for 1 month, free meals. I'm already old, I don't care, right? So I just shoplifting. And oh, you are thief, and then put in the jail. And say, my friend, hi, see you again. And they stay there for 1 month, and then they let it out, and then go back again. Very interesting. You don't hear about it? Because of aging problem, because of a whole bunch of problems, come up, a lot of new phenomena coming up. And of course, a lot of people are forced to go back to that again. And Japan is really a very serious aging problem. And China, in the next 10 years or 15 years, we're facing the same problem. Right now, they have a lot of people right now, yes, but after 15 years, they will start to drop. All right, changing nature of work. We know that. Like IT, ICT, information communication technology, they change a lot of that. Greater educational attainment, which is true. People go to school, but don't know why. I don't know why you are here. Why is education a promise? So you should not be here, right? These are really interesting. You know, oh, everybody go to school. For what? I'm not saying that you should not come, all right? I just say that this is a great trend here. Everybody will go to school. And there are some reason behind that. You know, it is a knowledge base. It's very competitive. Change so fast, and so on, all right? So anyway, so there are greater education attainment, and this is true. Labor shortage and increasing immigration, rising Hispanic influence. You probably don't know what happened here in USA. 20 years ago when I was in the state, the Spanish people only about 12% of the population, just 10 years. Right now, what percentage? A lot, about 18 to 20. I did not count that, all right? So it's huge. So the white people turn out to be minority. White male turn out to be, in USA, you call it minority. White male are the majority. And minorities such as black, Asian, and all that. And very interesting, the structure in USA start to change. So there are fewer white people like Joshua and Trevor, right? You are a minority right now, right? So there are more female, more Asian, especially more Hispanic coming up, all right? So it turned out to be like that, all right? So it starts to change. Shifting birth trends, widening geographic difference, changing age structure, right? So I got some example here. All right, no, okay, let's look at that. And this more related to PST, all right, anyway. So talking about nature, demographic, and so on. So these are called so-called environmental change. Not too difficult, all right? Worldwide population growth. A Mexican family, I look at the Time magazine, very interesting. Only 3 generations. I think the guy is in LA, Los Angeles. A grandfather sit there. Grandfather and grandmother sit there. Do you know how many people in the whole family? Let me repeat again, all right? The grandfather and grandmother only about 65 something. And they sit there. And there's a photo there. All right? Because first one, Mexican people, they are what? Christianity. You cannot do abortion. All right? That's keep that in mind. So grandfather and grandmother, along with how many people? 20? No. 80? No. 110. 110 people. Is that big or small? A lot. A lot. So these are talking about really a lot. So they have 6, for instance, they have 6 children. Another 6 grandsons. And some grandsons already get married. So it's not easy to do that. 6 by 6, 36, and then, I don't know. Little emperor in China, most of you know that. And if you have chance to travel in China, 6 adults take care of 1 child. Which is 6? Let me repeat. If you go to China, you observe carefully. Always have 6 adults take care of 1 children. Which is 6? Grandmother, parent, and then what? Another grandmother. Another grandfather and grandmother. All right, 6 people. You look carefully. They always have 5 or 6 people take care of 1 child. All right? Still right now, still the same. So China might have problem later on. Then we have, think, right? Double income, no kids. Double income, no kids. So people get married, they enjoy that, but they don't want to have a child. And these are very popular right now. Aging baby boomer, Generation X. This is interesting, quarter-life crisis. What's a quarter life? We say midlife process, midlife, 中年危机. I'm in midlife process, but I'm 50 years old. All right? So a lot of people right now in midlife crisis, they don't know what to do. It's been laid off, for instance. They don't know what to do. What's my next career? They call it midlife. Now, another interesting one called quarter life is your generation. What's quarter life? Such as, in fact, there's a book. See, that's it. Quarter life crisis. The new challenger for the early 20s. In the old days, you are supposed to have crisis in the age of 50. Right now, push you a little bit to 20 and 30. And what it says is very interesting. A lot of child, I said that all kinds of kids. Some of the child, they are really rich family. For instance, the book says rich family. And they already get their achievement. They already go to the MIT, go to Harvard, as a lawyer right now in New York. And then what? Commit suicide. Why? Very interesting. In USA, always, a lot of people, I was in Texas, in Plano. And the child is a rich family there. The child sit in the garage, turn on the car. 4 people sit there, and then the car garage door is closed, and they just vapor all the gas, and then die. All people die in the car. It's not only happened once, happened so many times. Imagine why. Why is there's a certain group of people, they are really facing their crisis. And why? Yeah, there's no objective for them. I got everything. I got girlfriend, I got house, I got money, I got status, I got my job, and that's it. So what to do next? They don't know. So that's one. Well, if they've done everything they want, the only thing left to do is die. So. Okay, all right, thank you. All right, anyway, all right. Anyway, these are called quarter-life crisis, which in fact is very new phenomenon right now. All right, it's interesting. All right. So we have people in fact start to get laid off now, early 50, no, early 30s, 35. So these are new challenging right now. It's really facing right now. All right. Next generation is network. All right, you know that. All right. Ethics and other market. I think USA sometimes they call it salad bowl. All right. Mixture of all kinds of people. If you go to New York, you can see all kinds of people there. Educational group. Sometimes they call your group called Nike. Why? No income kids with education. Let me repeat again. No income kids with education. So what can they do? Stay with parent. Stay with parent. Because what? They cannot find a job. And this happens a lot in USA right now. All right. This is another group called Nike group. Household parent. Interesting. In Chinese, Confucius called 鳏寡孤独皆有所养. 鳏寡孤独. You know what I mean? No. Chinese is not good. Single, separate, widow, divorced. Single, separate, widowed, divorced. 鳏寡孤独皆有所养. I don't know who copied who, all right? Anyway, but this is called SSWD. All right? And this is true. This is true. A lot of, for instance, all right, in Taiwan, you know, because I wrote a book about the Taiwan chapter. In Taiwan old days, family household size is 6 people. That was in very early one. Right now, only about 3.5 people. USA getting worse. USA household size is 2.2 people. And what the hell is 2.2? A lot of people did not get 2.2 average. So all these numbers start to decline. So a lot of single parent and the separate and all that. All right, so they are called single family. And they got a lot of application in marketing, of course. All right? Because single family, they don't cook, for instance. You know, they got a lot of different lifestyle. So these are called household pattern. And they are changing. They are really changing in this society. Migration, you know that, all right? Some of you are part of that group. So I say here, from mass market to micro market to one-to-one market. In other words, usually we look at a huge group, they are the same, but in fact they are not. So we start to gear down to look at one-to-one, or look at, you know, for instance. So for the single, in USA, very interesting, single parent family, which ethnic groups, most of that are single parent family. Single parent family means in which ethnic group they are more popular? Not Spanish people. Which group? Black. 65%, you won't believe that. 65% of the family are single parent. Why? All the male killed on the street. No, I'm not joking. I'm not racial discrimination. All the black people, you really care for all the people, the movie star, the basketball star, all that. Or they have to say thank you for their mother. But where's your father? Interesting. You look at Michael Jordan, you look at a lot of people, they're all raised by the mother. So single family, very serious problem in USA. 65% of the black people are single parent family. Interesting. Anyway, these are a whole bunch of things about, we call it demographic environment. This one, Taiwan, well, look at that. 1963 and 1993, look at that, you know. These are the old days. I'm in this group, and right now you can see they're shrinking. All right, so these are the typical population, and this one also happened in Japan, happened in Europe, and gradually happen in China in the future. Right, so this will be a serious problem. We call it aging problem in the whole world. Right. Household pattern. All right. This also think. All right. This is the same. Don't laugh. In some of the state, they encourage. You know, San Francisco is not the heaven anymore. You know, people move to where? You know San Francisco? No one knows what I'm talking about? San Francisco legally protect the male marriage. And right now, some of the states like Illinois, like Michigan, some of the small towns, they allow the people, they allow this one can raise the child. You want to get that? So it's a very interesting phenomenon happening right now, all right? This is a phenomena. People start to work overseas. I think this one talking about, I think this one Thailand, and let me see, Philippines is as one. Then you can see Chinese people also move. And of course, some of the people, you are Muslim, you can go to the Middle East. Anyway, they're talking about the migration, all right? A lot of workers overseas and so on. Right? So these are really a big phenomenon right now, all right? Hopefully in Taiwan, we don't have to move to other countries, all right? But we'll be that soon. I'm talking about anyway, all right? So these are in Taiwan, all right? You won't believe that, all right? You can see all these signs in Taiwan. And when I was in Hong Kong, when I was in Hong Kong, it's very interesting. My friend in Hong Kong, a very expensive place. My rental fee at that time, is 32K Hong Kong dollars, not Taiwanese dollar. All right, we Sicilians know what I'm talking about here, right? So very expensive, all right? Very small one, only about 1,000 square foot. My friend live in Hong Kong Island, have 600 square feet, 3 servants. Is that popular, right? How big is a 600 square feet? They didn't know. How big 600? 15平. Very small one. 3 servants. Now why I need so many of that? One take care of child. One take care of what? Cooking. One take care of, I don't know, anyway. So it's very popular. So these are the phenomena happen in a lot of that, all right? So anyway, so they're moving around and all that, all this whole bunch of migration everywhere. Economic, I think that's one easy, but also not easy, all right? Now, I call this one income distribution, I call it random millionaire. What's a random millionaire? I make money suddenly, and then within 3 years, I'm broke. How about bipolar? That's another phenomenon, very interesting. You heard about middle class, right? Middle class, 中产阶级. Middle class, if you understand the sociology, middle class is a foundation for most of the developed nations, because those people are the middle income people. Unfortunately, what happened? Shrinking. So some people, not some, a few people getting rich and richer, but majority of people getting poor. These are called shrinking middle class. Very interesting, right? So some are very rich people, some very poor people, and this has shrink. And this is one reason why General Motors and Ford, because they are the middle class car. So in USA, you can still see so many expensive cars. So many expensive cars. People can afford that. At the same time, you can see you need a lot of car here because the whole middle class shrinking. The application for that is the automobile, the department store. Sears and JCPenney in trouble because they serve middle class to be. But now with so many high class, in Taiwan the same, 101. You know, 101 is new, another new 精品, whatever very premium product coming up. You can see it was very expensive, but still coming up. And these are, we call it bipolar. Bipolar means there are two bipolar. Now they are shrinking over this middle class, and so something coming up. All right. And China is even worse. China is not formed this yet. China is not formed this yet. The China middle class is very few of that. And of course, certain of people here, most of them they are party members, and there are a lot of poor people here, right? So these are the people look at the social structure. They say, okay, China is not really that stable in the long term. They might have trouble in the long term. Taiwan isn't the same. I think they start to have that. And digital development in Singapore. If I were in Singapore, right? What I try to say here is, I have a student in EMBA student, about 45 something. If you are above 45, you never have a chance to learn computer. Therefore, you cannot find a job. You know what I mean? You guys are lucky. You know you are in the computer generation. But a lot of people at my age, they don't know what to do. They're computer phobia. They don't want to touch that. All right. If you are in that category, I call it digital divide in fact. So these are the whole changing environment has been changed. And when I was in Singapore, in with some students, really, they don't know how to do computer. They always do that. So these are facing our generation. And the saving, debt, credit, availability, a whole bunch of that. Yeah. So question is the low interest rate the right policy? Obviously, it's not. Why? Low interest rate is a wrong policy. Why? People keep borrowing. In which you increase your debt in the future. So this is really a phenomenon right now, happening right now. Natural environment, shortage of raw material, we know that. Increased energy costs, we all know that as well. Anti-pollution, changing role of government. So EPA, can be changed. Anyway, this is talking about USA. When the government changed, EPA have new policy. So it used to be a very limited protected environment. Suddenly a new party coming up, they open all that. So these are the policy behind that. Social culture. View about themselves, others. Look at here, the individual, yeah, these are called me generation, all right? Others, look at the same kind. Look at the same kind. No laugh, all right? Forget about it. Society in Taiwan, I call it political mania. These are called Brokeback Mountain. Still no laugh, all right? Forget about it, all right? Society is the political mania in Taiwan. Taiwan is really a political mania society. So-called blue and green, they are always counter each other. All right, so they view each other differently. So these are about how we look at as a social group, how you look at other people. Anyway, sorry. Okay, so they have another one. So you can see from individual to partner to social to institution and organization, nature, and the way we look at the universe. This is how people look at our power, our society. How we look at that within as a social member. And high precision of core cultural value. I think this one book talking about in USA, but Taiwan should be the same. Hardworking, get married, charity, and honest. These are the core value we have. Labor Modi, I mentioned already. Existence of subculture. That's in Taiwan, all right? Golden hair, nose ring, you know nose ring, right? Dangerous, okay? Snake tongue, you know snake tongue? They do this operation and snake, and then when they kiss this, wow, 很来电, all right? I don't know how to say that, something like that. I don't know how can I kiss a girl with a snake tongue. I don't know that, all right? They just cut that into half, and then they kiss, all right? I don't know why. Anyway, okay. Noodle shirt, that's in Singapore. You know noodle shirt? You just like noodle, right? I can break the noodle, right? Hip gap, all right? 骨沟妹啦。F4, female, not male. Birding, you know birding means? Liu Niao Zhu. Sorry, you don't know Chinese, all right? Bird, all right? Explain to your floating partner, all right? Bird and then birding, all right? Liu Niao, all right? Okay. All right, you don't know what I'm talking about, forget about it. Okay, now stage here, you know. Anyway, so these are culture, right? Culture, we have so many different subgroup of people, right? And people have all different own value, you know, all that stuff, okay? And then shifting secondary cultural value, all right? Like Tiger Woods, there's a sport car, and there's a 星光大道, and I don't know how to say that, 诸葛亮 now, okay? okay, sorry, all right, I just... Okay, anyway, so many of that, all right? This is really a culture, all right? Don't laugh, all right? These are new generation coming out and all the stuff and all that, all right? This from the UK. I think this is water, all right? The key is here. See here. Not quite Middle England, but England considered to be very conservative, all right? So this is the one that I try to show you that, well, this is not quite Middle England. Right? If you travel to England, a lot of farmhouse and a nice garden and so on, all right? So this for this target population, all right? Most popular American leisure activity, I don't believe that, but anyway, walking, garden, swimming, photo, recycling, fishing, whatever that, and forget about all that, all right? Because right now in crisis, all right, everything stopped. But anyway, what it says is these are typical leisure activity, like camping and all that, all right? So different countries have different leisure activities. All right, nature environment. And obviously, whole bunch of that right now. We have earthquake, tornado, and typhoon, and
oh my God, the global warming and on and on and on, and this is really the about all that. And I checked the website there, whole bunch of new movie right now talking about this disaster movie. All right, so anyway, so this more like that. All right, so this nature environment, you know that. All right, we know all this, but this is my favorite movie. Anyone knows? Nashika? No? 风之谷. You know that? Don't know that. This is in fact a very old Japanese cartoon movie, excellent movie, talking about probably thousand years later. You know, we all live in the Peru Earth, and then you know how the nature fight back. You know, all the stuff. Very very interesting movie as well. Anyway, they're talking about all about nature environment, and you know what I try to say, right? Anyway, so these are the people start to concern about all that. Now, although we know environmental is important, but consumer really buy environmental friendly product or not? That's a big question. Let me repeat again. Even though we know that pollution is very serious, but will consumer really buy so-called environmental friendly product? Answer is not that much. The question is why? All right. So they're talking about this different market segment. Some people like Greenpeace, you know, that they're fighting for that. You know, when the whale killing, they go to the whale and they go to pollution. The Greenpeace really try to protect, very active group try to protect that. And Greens. All right, I think this happened in USA. I think a lot of people really take care of environment, take care of all the nature and all that. All right. And then there's Sprout. Sprout means just coming up, and they just buy some kind of friendly product. All right. But in fact, the majority of people are either apathic or gross. All right. So what can I do? If I buy the product, it won't help. So I don't buy that. All right. So these are really very interesting phenomena that even though we know it's very important, but not really everybody buy the so-called green-friendly product. Why? Why you don't want to buy that? You know, like we say the papers and recycled paper and you know, the automobile and all that. So many green products around. People are talking about organic food as well, but people still don't buy that. Why? Yes, expensive. Right? That's one reason. Why else? So very interesting, right? We know that it's important, but still the market, you know, you can see about 35, 1/3 of people, you know, half of the people, they don't care. Only very few people really care, about 40% of that. All right, so this I'm talking about green marketing myopia. Yes, I think the price, you are not looking for the price. You have to tell the consumer what the value is. I think this one try to tell the solution, all right? I don't know whether that's going to work or not. Anyway, consumer value positioning. Understand this knowledge. I think educating them more about knowledge, create a product claim. All right? So these are what the strategy should be. And anyway, a whole bunch of product, hybrid product, and like solar energy and other stuff. And right now we have a lot of hybrid car right now coming to the market. All right. And in fact, we do a study. You know, I with my student, we do a study about how people look at the hybrid car. Interesting. No one believes. They say car is a pollution. How can you hybrid? And then again, too expensive. You know, a lot of reason to push this hybrid car. So in here, you can see Honda is the highest. People believe that. Honda is 2 of that. All right, followed by Toyota. And people don't believe Ford can come up. So overall, people don't believe Ford can come up anti-pollution kind of vehicle. All right. So these are perception. All right. How people do that. Anyway, all these are talking about a lot of marketing people try to push the so-called the friendly product, but in fact they are not. So these are talking about strategy. How can we do about that? All right. Last one is about the macro environmental forces about technology, all right, creative destruction. I think we heard that before. New generation keep coming up. So you got 2G, 3G, 4G keep coming up, push that further. And new technology like genomics, nanotechnology, solar, wind, ocean, whatever that, you know, a whole bunch of whole bunch of these new innovation keep coming to the market. All right, varying budget. All right. So anyway, these are talking about technology management overall. About that. So, but I think the keyword is here: creative destruction. All right. So these are about the nature of the technology development. Political, special interest group, and consumerism movement. All right. So these are about the environment overall. This, forget about that. All right. These are when I came back to Taiwan in year 2001, 2002 in fact, and Taiwan really have a lot of trouble, right? Anyway, so these are the phenomena about political, right? Anyway, there are a lot of discussion here. I just read my observation about Taiwan. All right, social reason, which is the critical reason, or third way, we treat China as a factory or as a market, or we treat that as a rented economy or homeland. Some people doing this, some people doing that. They want to make money, some people want to go back. Democracy, human rights, free press, that's the whole trouble here. Social morale, all right? So we really have trouble about all that. Holding out versus reinvasion. We now have trouble. Holding out means a lot of factory move out. But in the next couple of years, we have reinvasion. The capital will come in, all right? And dying God-like heroes. Used to be, we try to make political people like God, but not anymore. Not anymore, right? So these are the whole bunch of issues here in these are mass media and legislature, right? English called 拨换反正，隐晦 should read this way: 正反乱拨。That's my conclusion about this our political system. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on right now. Right, a whole bunch of it's fun to read that, but anyway. Okay, this is about political environment right now in Taiwan right now. Right? So anyway, just sorry if you cannot read the Chinese, okay? But this is a serious problem here. And we really have a very serious moral problem. We have political issue here, and the China is another big issue. Whether that's a dream or just a threat. So China right now we have two groups here in Taiwan. Is that a nightmare or a dream come true? Interesting. All right, we have two group of people looking at China differently. Okay. So that will be conclude my chapter 3. Any questions? 7 minutes, easy. All right, can be finished. Any other questions? I put this one as a. Oops, I did not put it there. Okay, sorry. Globalization also part of the environment. All right, so the book is called Culture Shock. We have so many international students, all right? What's your culture shock when you come to Taiwan? 槟榔西施, all right, I don't know. Anyone, we have culture shock, right? What's your culture shock? Huh? The food. Why? Good or bad? Even like spider, like shrimp, like all kinds of different food, pig ear. The taste, so different. Give me an example, right? Such as the one that you don't like. 臭豆腐. Smelling tofu, terrible, huh? Pig's blood and all that stuff, right? What else? So food is one, all right? You see, okay, oh my gosh, I don't know why. No, I think the people from Vienna should have a protest here. Why use our national music as a garbage truck? My gosh. All right, what else? Interesting. All right, what else? Dogs. You mean dogs everywhere? Okay, that's a phenomenon. Let me tell you why is that. TV, again, promote a lot of very cute dog. And not only dog, a lot of pet. When they're getting bigger and bigger, they abandon that. So we have chimpanzee, we have snake, we have frog, we have all kinds of fish in the river and all kinds of abandoned one, all right? H1N1, all right? Okay, all right. So, yeah, I always sneak away, all right? So don't worry, all right? Just go away, all right? So he not used to be checking this front head, all right, to do that, right? I don't know what else can do. If you go to pass the airport, they also have a big scanner to look at your temperature and all that. Yes, I don't know. So that's a good part of that, right? 7-Eleven, all right? 7-Eleven, yeah, very nice. That's a very Japanese way of that. In which 7-Eleven come from Japan, all right? But not very popular in USA. And yes, community can get everything, right? Almost everything, almost, all right? Almost everything, okay, all right. That's a culture shock, all right? How about anyone go to USA or go to Russia or go to there, get a culture shock, all right? Anyone? USA, for instance. But anyway, right? So these are called global market, all right? So yes, these are really when we go overseas and the whole environment will be totally different. All right? That's what this one is about. I don't know why here. Okay, this one should move out, right? These are the courses I will offer next semester called Global Business Management. So the whole chapter, in fact, is a whole course. So we'll tell you more detail about. Sorry about that. It's a global business, so I cannot see that. All right. So this will be in the here global marketing. I think I take the wrong one. All right. It's a global marketing. It's a global business. We were talking about the global business. All right. Whole bunch of detail about that. And the question that why should I go out? All right. So these are the questions from the company point of view, and how can I evaluate which market to enter? I think that's a big question. All right. For instance, whether I want to go to China right now, too late, too early, or what should I do? And how to enter today? Whether I to invest that greenfield, franchise, and so on. And how can I adopt that to the marketing programs? So these are the questions that we'll discuss in this particular chapter. First one is definition of global firms. So a firm that operates in more than one country and capture, look carefully, these are the one country, and then capture all the functions such as R&D, production, logistics, marketing, finance, in its cost and reputation that are not available to purely domestic competitors. All right, so these are so-called global firm. I cannot read Russia, all right? What's this? You cannot recognize that, all right? That's from your shopping mall, right? How about this? Anyway, Netscape, all right? Netscape are also the one of the global players. These are in Russia's market, all right? So they are in shopping mall, nice coffee shop, and they start to say that, all right? This is for the advertising. Until now, even a lot of professors still do not know the difference between international marketing and global marketing. All right, let me tell you that. All right, let me tell you what the definition of that. Slightly different. All right. So what's the meaning between global and international? First one we call international trading. This host country are the decision center. So I spread it out. I don't care. I just mail everything out. All right, international trading. Now, when you move to international marketing, start to different. Because each country have different needs. So the decision center will be in that country, rather than here. All right. For instance, in we are Korean here, right? What kind of toothpaste flavor in Korea? Toothpaste flavor in Korea. Peppermint. What else? I heard that there's a kimchi flavor in there. No? There's a kimchi flavor in toothpaste. Oh, no, you are not from Seoul, all right? All right, anyway, what I try to say here is each country, each one a different one. We try to make different. Detergent, for instance. You probably see the detergent all the same. They are not the same at all. Why? So detergent in China, for instance, in Shanghai is different from detergent in Sichuan. You know the difference? In Shanghai, just in Taiwan, people change clothes every day. Sichuan, once a week. Or in Tibet, even worse. In Tibet, you know Tibet? How many showers do they take the whole life? How many times of shower did they take in your whole life? In Tibet? 3, good, all right? First time, birth, marry, and die, all right? 3 times, all right? So detergent will be different, all right? Anyway, what I try to say here is these are the using the country as the decision center. Now, that's really what global really means. The truly global company is using all the resource of different countries, combine them together, manufacture, and selling it out. The key point here is the resource. In other words, so country like in Taiwan, for instance, you know one of the very famous one called Trendy Micro, right? Trendy Micro, the virus company, 趋势, Trendy company. Their R&D is in Philippines and Los Angeles. Accounting is in Tokyo. Sales agency in Europe. And then they manufacture in Taiwan. So they are truly global. In other words, they try to utilize all the different resources from different countries. And that's what we call it global. So it's slightly different from that. Global versus international. I think the key word here is you try to use all the different functions, different or that, the global resource in order to do that. I think these are easy, all right, I suppose. So the process, decide where to go, which market to enter, how to enter, and on the marketing program, the 4 Ps, and then the organization to implement. Anyway, so these are the typical, we call it global marketing, you know, the procedure of that. All right, so I think these are easy, all right? Then we start from 4th stage of internationalization, no regular export activity. Then export via independent agency, establish sales subsidiary, then establish production facility and the board. What it says here is you can see the investment environment is getting higher and heavier. And these are not the USA companies, these are top global company. All right, sorry, top global firm based on developing market. All right, so a lot of that. All right, you can see these are all one. All right, so a couple of from China, like Hair, like China Mobile. All right, and this one from India, I guess. Huawei also from China. I think KLC is from Korea, Japan. I don't know. And a whole bunch of Japan, and then of course a whole bunch of that. All right, so these are the so-called global firm, all right? So it's coming up, in fact. There's a term called born global. Born global. And these are from business perspective, you know, whether the company really can conquer the world immediately in such a short time. So there are a couple of very famous companies, they are born global, they're truly global company. But they're not easy, all right? So there's a term in academia, they call it born global. So a couple of that, all right? So we try to study whether ASUS is a born global. So they got a lot of requirements, you know, to be a born global company, you need a lot of conditions, you know, to do that. These are the companies in Taiwan that are quite possible, you know, they can be a global company. And then there's a so-called regional free trade zone. And this is what Taiwan tried to assign now. We call it free trade area and so on. So a lot of legal problem and all that, okay? So European Union, NAFTA, you know that, right? North American, and one, Mercosur, you know, this one is here. And then APEC, for instance. All right? So these are the regional one. So each country, in fact, these are some kind of protectionism. They try to protect their own region, all right? So they get together as a partner, trading partner, all that. So these are more related to the legal issue. And key developing market. You heard about this one, right? BRIC. And then another one called VISTA, V-I-S-T-A. You know which country? Is that VISTA? Indonesia, South Africa, Turkey, Argentina. Yeah, Vietnam, yes. Vietnam, Indonesia, South Africa, Turkey, and then Argentina. I think what I try to say here is, again, resource. Resource. They have different resource. Maybe in the labor, maybe in the natural resource. Right? So they define that as another coming up. Okay? Then I think we will go to, Stephanie already gave me the information. I think we will go to visit Philippines next year. All right. Anyway, so that will be like that. Philippines is not in that. All right. Not in the printed, not in brick or not in the Vista. All right. These are just so-called entry mode. There's a term called entry mode. How do I enter that? In direct export, ask other agencies help me. Direct export, licensing, joint venture, and then direct invest. Some we call it greenfield. All right. So these are all depends on degree of commitment, risk, control, and profit potential in general. All right. So you try to balance all these four in order to decide which entry mode to do. All right. So you can see that the reinvestment obviously very heavy investment and high risk as well, but maybe high profit in the long term because you control everything there. All right. So these are very simple one about the so-called entry mode. All right. I think I skipped that one. All right. Direct export. I think most idea people know that. All right. And now, very interesting. What kind of product is in Taiwan? Is export is not the big volume, most profitable. In Singapore, Hong Kong, very interesting. I'm not talking about the PC, I'm talking about most profitable. People don't know in terms of international trading. They export a lot in Taiwan, right? Which one? Profitable. I think they got a lot of niche market in Taiwan in terms of global business. Fish, aquarium fish, and then the sea bass. That's very profitable. Couple of has been changed. What I try to say, each country has different segment of that, and very famous. Not necessarily high tech, right? In which they got a whole bunch of the segment that's very profitable for that. All right, franchise, you know that, all right? Franchise means that they are good and bad for the franchisor and franchisee. So they offer this right, the patent or the name in order to operate the business in certain country. Okay? And whole bunch of franchise, all right? Waffle House, and I don't know what's that, Poo-Poo, I don't know what's Poo-Poo, all right, anyway. Whole bunch of that, Dunkin' Donuts, we have that in Taiwan, all right, in Taipei, right, and so on, all right? So a whole bunch of the franchise system, all right, coming out. This is one way to do the operator business. There's a debate about marketing, meaning that whether we should standardize our product. So they call it global marketing. Local marketing means that when I want to export this, such as gin and Coke, I want to export this one to a certain country, whether I should modify that or not. We call it localize. So there are two debates, globalize and localize. Now, which one will win? So we were advertising to say what? Think globally, act locally. Another one called glocalization. Glocalization, all right? What it says is it's not easy. It's not easy, all right? You try to balance that, all right? So both have advantage and disadvantage. Global means we don't modify anything, just go there. Countries such as what? And then another one is I have to localize and try to change that, all right? So that's why it says we have advantage and disadvantage of doing that. And obviously you can see why we need to localize, because consumer different needs and usage pattern. Right? So and so on. So a whole bunch of that. And after all this debate, after 50 years, people believe that, or marketing people gradually believe that. So this is another argument. When we're talking about global market, are they homogeneous? Or certain that they are all different? I think these are always the argument. I think marketing people prefer to be more localized. All right? In other words, we all take about the needs of that. In fact, to consider all the needs, all the different religions and culture and government, all that. All right? So you have to think that way. Anyway, these are just a debate about all the marketing philosophy. Okay, anyway, so change everything, all right? Change brand name, packaging, color, material, and everything, all right? So these are the typical marketing campaign. All right, I skip this one, all right, because this one will be discussed very detailed in global business. What it says is countries have different, you can see, culture behind that, all right? For instance, which country is more individualism? Which country is collectivism? Which country is this one? USA, very individualism, right? If it's true, when I was a professor in USA, what did the student do in the classroom? Leave. So that's what else? They eat chewing gum and then what? Playing computer, put a leg on the chair and all that, all right? It won't happen in Japan and Taiwan, all right? You can see here, it won't happen to that, all right? Now, how about collectivism? Which country is the most famous one for collectivism? Japan is a very good example for that, okay? High and low power distance, that's another interesting one. What's the power distance? I'm a professor, you're a student, right? We should keep apart. I'm your supervisor, I'm your boss. You should not look at my eyes. You know, that's what we call power distance. Again, which country have a high power distance? Japan again, all right, what else? In fact, all the Oriental society have that. You know, we should respect older people, for instance. So there are all kinds of the so-called power distance in that, all right? Law, all right? Again, USA, all right? These are interesting. Which country is more female? Which one is country male? Now, what's the definition of that? Very easy, all right? Definition is if the country you are looking for power, wealth, they are more male. If the country is looking for harmony with the environment, harmony with the society, these are more female. You know what I mean? So country who are looking for power, looking for wealth, looking for money. And which country is more female? According to their definition, European people overall are more in this area. They are more harmony to the environment, protect that, in all that. These are called difference of that. Now, we have strong uncertainty avoidance. This is very, very interesting and very important. Some people cannot tolerate uncertainty. They only need an answer immediately. Some they don't. And this is so important in business negotiation. So some people, good negotiator, they wait. They just wait, you know, until try to get the best one done, all right? All these are very interesting phenomena about the so-called cultural difference, especially we go to different countries, okay? And how about this one? Weak and strong uncertainty avoidance. In China, for instance, China is probably the best negotiator in the whole world. Why? They say we can wait for 5,000 years. We don't care to wait for another 1 week. This is what they're talking about, how to resolve Taiwan problem, all right? They say, yeah, what the hell, we already 5,000 years, we can wait for that long. So it's very interesting. There are a lot of mentality, you know, they try to play around, you know, all this negotiation, sign the country, all that, all right? So this, anyway, this is another topic about negotiation, all right? Very interesting framework, you know, to do that. This, again, go to communication and product. What they call a dual means that when you go to enter the country, we might have to change the product or adapt the product, all right? Or change the communication, adapt communication, do two things at the same time. Obviously, a lot of countries like Coke. The Coke formula is what? the same in the whole world. So they did not change anything. Levi's jean, another example. You know the jean, right? They did not change that. So these are they do not need to adopt, all right? Sometimes again the same, communication the same because of different cultural difference. They might have to change that. And this example, length and I think they did not change much. This obvious change, all right? These are the tiger and the dragon, crouching tiger. There's a movie Kung Fu, you know, they try to on the top of the bamboo, and obviously this one is go to China and they try to do all that. Okay. Interesting. Heineken, in fact, Heineken come from which country? All right. Heineken's position in the country is low or high? Median, in fact, they are not. But when they go out to overseas, premium product. Interesting. All right. So that's why the position has been changed. All right. And of course, in Taiwan and Japan, very popular, we call it rice burger. All right. They change the product. They change the product. Richard Gere in the Visa car, right? There's I think the commercial about that, right? I think the Richard Gere in that and do all that. When I was in Thailand, anyone from Thailand? I went to the old temple, and you know, in the temple they always have a lot of birds. They want you to buy the bird and then release that. You know what I mean? You buy the bird and then release that. You buy the turtle, release the turtle, and all that. And that's what Richard Gere do, right? They go there and then try to pay the kids and release all the bird. Now, but when I was in that temple, it's interesting. I went there and to see the people, you know, they sell the bird, and then we go back to the temple. They all the bird come back, recycle again. Oh my gosh! Really, you know, I'm not joking. All right, I don't know how they did that. All right, so you know what I mean here? They release the bird because of Buddha believe you release all the soul and all that. All right, anyway. So this key has been cheated. All right, anyway. And this from China, Budweiser. All right. Anyway, very interesting one. Okay. Okay, so these are culture, communication change, and communication with young segment. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of the how to Warcraft, iPod, and Harry Potter, and all that stuff. Right. Price, I will not discuss further because it's so complicated. All right, we'll discuss that later in the pricing issue. All right. Anyway, what he says is, how can I set the price? For instance, uniform price everywhere. Which company do that? Only one price in the whole world. Only one price. Market-based price means what? Each different market based on the market price. Cost-based price in each country. For instance, why you cannot say that? Why you cannot say uniform price? That Coca-Cola everywhere is $1 per bottle. That's impossible. All right. Now, how about market price? Market-based. I have different country, different market, charge different price. What will happen? Everybody will buy from the cheaper. Yes, everybody will buy from the cheaper one and then try to go there, all right? You cannot do that as well. Now, how about cost base? What's the disadvantage? You also cannot do it. What's the cost base? Depends on the cost of the country, then I charge the price. So what will happen? If some of the country is very expensive, then you cannot sell. So pricing is really difficult. It is a really difficult decision. All right, we'll tell you more about that, how to do that in the pricing. All right, so each one have an advantage and disadvantage. And of course, one issue is Japanese yen, for instance. Right now is what, $89? 89. Used to be in my old day 300, then down to 120, and then down to $89. Now, what's the impact for Japan? The Toyota, what's the impact for that? If Japanese yen is so strong, what's the impact? Car is very expensive. The same, Europe versus USA dollar. Euro is getting so expensive. What's the problem? They cannot export because it's too expensive to buy the product. In general, very, very interesting phenomenon. Now, who absorb this cost? So these are talking about really another big phenomenon behind all this marketing activity. All right. So what can they do in terms of that? So in fact, when the Japanese yen up and down, total price the same. So they have absorbed all the costs for that. So these are not easy in fact to operate overseas. All right. So these are another issue we'll discuss more in the of course another issue, another big issue, renminbi. All right. We don't have time, but just tell you about renminbi. Right. What happens when renminbi getting too high or too low? Now, if devalue, who suffer? If renminbi keep devalue, who suffer? 人民币贬值，有人民币 devalue 人民币 ，who suffer? Exporter, all right. I think all the countries related to like Taiwan, Vietnam, all suffer because they are cheaper, so they can sell more. We are trouble. How about in RMB? Value, higher. Who suffer? All right. So these are really when people try to argue that what the RMB should be, what the RMB should be, all right? Either high value and low value, and again, this is another big issue about the financial market in that. Channel. When I was in USA, I supervised a student in forest product. We call it furniture. Forest product, right? So they are designing furniture. And very interesting. In USA, how many layers of distribution in furniture? In general, about 3 only. So manufacturer, warehouse, furniture store, and consumer. You know what I mean? 3 layers. How about Japan? How many layers? You won't believe that. How many layers? We studied that, all right? So in other words, it's not that easy as USA. Manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer, consumer. Japan, guess how many layers? 7 to 14. You say, now why we need so many of that? Yes, that's what this one tries to say, all right? So they have importer, warehouse. And again, remember that the furniture itself is so big. Japan land is very precious. All the store very small. So they have a lot of ways to try to figure out how to present my furniture. Very interesting. So it is about 7 layers of that. And a lot of agency, a lot of whole bunch of that. All right? So these are, again, talking about in the distribution, in the press, there's a lot of different one in different countries. All right, let me finish this one. Country of origin. Switzerland, for instance, famous for what? Watch. Germany, famous for what? Japan. USA. Playboy, huh? No, forget about that. No. What USA is good for? Chewing gum, I don't know. Coke. What else? When you say USA, not what it's good for. How about Taiwan? Binang girl. Now, how about China? 黑心货, huh? Anyway, these are called country of origin. So we have impression when we say about mention about a nation, we always say, oh, okay, I know what's good. We call halo effect, all right? Country of origin, all right? So you know that, all right? So these are quite important to do that. So like Netherlands, famous for what? Flower, all right? For instance, all right? All right. Last one is about organization, all right? I think that's another big issue, all right? All right. Of course, like a whole bunch of issue about how can I manage the talent globally, okay? I think that's it. All right, any question about this chapter in the global so-called global market. So we discuss the market research, environment, and globalization. Next, we will tell detail about the market research.